Welcome back everybody. I'm Carl, this is Motorcycle Junkie. This is my shed with lots of room. Look at this, I've never seen it like this. Why? Well, that's all that's left of the Kawasaki GPZ500 project, because the frame, swing arm and centre stand have all gone off to the powder coaters. Don't know when I'll get that back, because to be honest with you, in order to try and get the price down as low as I can, I did say to the guy, whenever, take your time, just chuck it in with your next batch, that sort of thing. So as soon as we've got that back, we'll let you know, and I'll tell you what I paid to have it done as well. I've got an idea, but we'll see what the final bill is. The Hwanio shitbox, I've just chucked that on Facebook Marketplace as is, 400 quid. I don't know if it's worth 400, I don't know if I've underpriced it, overpriced it, or what the fuck. I know that if I sell it for 400 quid I'll still be well in profit. But we'll see. So chucked it on there as is, no MOT, sold as seen, just see what happens. I'm not that bothered either way. What else? Well, we're going to start tearing down this engine, get that top end off. I have been looking at parts availability for it, and it would appear that all parts are available. Not cheap at all, but available. There are some really cheap top end gasket sets about. I'm minded to stay away from them, to be honest with you. The genuine Kawasaki one I think is like 40 quid or something just for the head gasket. That's not a full top end set, that's like just the head gasket, fuck all else. So it's not going to be a cheap project, but spread over a period of time, me and more importantly the wife will not notice it. What I'm looking for here is the ID plate of the frame, and I'll tell you why. I'm sure I shoved it in there. I've had a comment on, yeah, that's the one. I've had a comment online from a guy called Troll Patrol, and I don't think he's as his handle sounds. I don't think he's a troll. In fact, he's given me some incredibly useful information. It would appear, if I'm understanding this chap correctly, and if you're watching this, Troll Patrol, thank you very much. Your advice is appreciated. But it would appear that my Kawasaki is on the cusp of a changeover, where it went from one model to another. And it's one of them where it could have parts from the later model or the early model, as he called it, a Frankenbike. He's told me to check the ID plate, which I'm going to do now. I'll get it in this little bag to see what the year of manufacture was. Let's have a look. And as far as I can see, it don't actually tell you, does it? No. Right, if you're watching Troll Patrol, there's the ID plate. Don't know if I should really be showing that on camera, but fuck it, I've done it now. So yeah, mine's a 99, but I think he said if it's September 99 it could be one version, and if it's before September 99 it could be another version. Fuck knows. Right, anyway, let's talk about my tool. Do you remember that cheap Chinese fucking wrench thing I bought, the electric power wrench? 27 quid, used it half a dozen times, fucked. Sent it back. Several emails from the seller saying, oh, charge the battery. No mate, I can't change the battery. The mechanism shattered. Try your second battery. No, it's not the battery mate, the mechanism's fucked. Can you just try it anyway? No. Anyway, I've sent it back. Should get a full refund. However, as I found it so incredibly useful, I've splurged. Look, Milwaukee. Same thing. I mean, it looks just the same as that cheap Chinese one. The biggest difference between this and the Chinese one is the Chinese one was 27 quid. This was 129.99. But the Chinese thing gave me the opportunity to try it out, see if it's something that I would find useful and whether it's something I would use in the future. I genuinely think it does, and I've backed myself by paying 130 quid bar 5p. 3-year warranty on this one. The Chinese one had a so-called lifetime warranty, but we know in reality it had no warranty at all, because Mr. Chinaman's not going to be around in 5 years or 1 year or even 6 months when it fucks up. I'm just glad it fucked up inside a week. The other one as well is the Chinese one had 2 batteries. This has only got the one. I don't think that's a big issue. It charges in 45 minutes or so. So yeah, anyway, we're waffling. Let's get some spanners out and start pulling this head off. Right, here we go. I've got a little natty plastic bin here, so hopefully some attempts at keeping all the parts together. Right, first thing, and first use of my new toy. Let's get these off. They're not tight because I didn't really tighten them when I put this back on after I checked the valve clearances. One thing I'm a little confused about though is that I was looking online, and I must have misunderstood it somewhere along the line, but I don't know where. But the little oil seals that go on the end of the oil lines, I can find them. Apparently there's 10 of them on this bike somewhere, but there's only 4 that I know about. So they're 74p each, and it's a tiny little 7mm oil, like an O-ring thing. These things here, these airlines, what the fuck am I on about? These oil lines, they go into a seal just there. But the water ones as well. Oh, what have I just dropped? Oh, it was that little fucking spacer. Let's find that. The water ones that go in here, they carry the same part number. I don't know how or why or what the fuck, but yeah, they carry the same part number. Yeah, where did that come off? Did it come off there? But if it did, there should be 2 of them. Where's the other one? There it is. Stuck. I'm going to pop them back in there now because I don't want to lose them. Okay. Right, next thing we need to do, I think we need to remove the cam chain tensioner, and we need to set this to top dead centre on cylinder 1, which is this side here. So let me just grab some tools to do that. Right, that's done. I don't know why you have to do it on 2 and not 1, but there you go. And the way we do that, quite simple, is I rotate the crank until the C mark. I don't think I'll be able to get you in there for a look. Now you have to take my word for it. There's a mark here and a C on the flywheel, and you mount the C up with the line, and at the same time you have to check that the lobes for the camshaft here are pointing upwards, which means all the pressure is off the valves. If it was 180 out, then they would be rotated round and the valves would be open. You know the shit I'm talking about, don't you? So, right. Camshaft removal. Send the engine to position number 2. When the engine is positioned correctly, the EX mark on the exhaust camshaft and the IN mark on the inlet camshaft will align with the cylinder head top surface. Okay. Right, I think it means, okay, the EX mark on the exhaust camshaft, so the the EX mark on the exhaust camshaft and the in mark on the inlet mount camshaft will align with the cylinder head top surfaces. Right, I think it doesn't mean actually on the camshaft, I think it means on the camshaft sprocket. Let's have a look. Yeah, EX in EX. Yeah, so I think, yeah, that's a little misleading because it says on the camshaft, so people could be looking on the camshaft itself. Let's just make sure that is in. Yeah, so I'm happy that that is correctly positioned now, as misleading as it is. Oh, see, illustration. Let's double check it with an illustration. Can't beat a good illustration, can you? So, right, see illustrations. Well, I'm fucked if I can see your illustration. Oh, in X. So, in, I don't know how well that's going to come out. The in mark on the inlet camshaft. So, inlet. I don't want to get this wrong because this is an engine I actually want to reuse. So, in. The little punch marks are high at the top, so that's good. And then the EX there, which is good. Yeah, 100% happy that that is in the correct position. Remove the upper chain guard. Even I can do that. So, remove upper chain guard. That's this thing here. Just get them all loosened off. That's a little bit worrying because to remove that you're taking all the tension off one side of this cap. But that's what it tells you to do. And Haynes is never wrong. Haynes is always fucking wrong. Right. Have I? Yeah. I've rounded a fucking bolt off. Actually the socket ain't great. Let's get a better socket. It's 10mm, isn't it? Everybody wears their fucking 10mm out. Right, just see if I can crack that without. Gotcha. So, yeah, that's a little chewed up. Now, I don't honestly know if I chewed that up or it was already done, but I'm going to take responsibility and say it was me. But I've got a spare set of bolts on the other bike, so all good. Okay, right. Pop that cover in there. Right. Remove the bolts and lift. Remove the upper chain guide, which we've done. Remove the bolts and lift the oil pipes and O-rings from the cylinder head. Okay, so that is an 8mm. That's these kiddies here. just crack them off manually, because I don't want no more rounding off. Okay, right, there we go. Okay, we're going to bag these bolts up and mark exactly where they come from. So they should now just lift out, and then I'll show you these oils O-rings which I was talking about earlier. I'm going to replace them all regardless of what they look like, because it's oil. You don't really want to be fucking about with your oil ways. Okay, so on the end of there you'll see a little O-ring, and them things, apparently there's 10 on this bike, and they are 74p for one. 74 fucking p for one. But yeah, just really not worth taking the risk. So come on, that one's out. I really don't want to get a pry bar in there unless I absolutely have to, but this one I don't want to let go. Pry bar it is. I should be trying to be very careful. There we go. We're free. Oil lines. Okay, good. The O-rings look in good condition, they really do, but I'm just not going to chance it. Okay, right, I need my bit of rag, but I've laid my screws and bolts and shit on it, so we've got a nice fresh clean piece here. Of course it is, it was that colour when it was manufactured. It just looks greasy and shitty and dirty. Right, so presumably, well, I would have thought that's loose, but it doesn't feel loose. Okay, remove the bolts and lift the oil pipes. Yeah, we've done that bollocks. Unscrew the bearing cap bolts for one of the camshafts a little at a time. That makes sense. Why just one of them? Okay, let's work on the exhaust side. Okay, and they are all cracked off. Okay, right, it says to take a note of the letters on the camshaft caps, but I'd already noticed that on the other one. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, so they all have to go back on in the correct place. Will this engine ever run now I've had my sticky mitts on it? Time will tell. Time will tell. Will at some... what have I done with that bit of fucking rag? Will at some point in the future, will I be on eBay Looking for a replacement GPZ500S engine. Right, what does the great Oracle say next? If any bearing caps are loose and evenly as the camshaft may bind, pull up on the camshaft chain and carefully guide the camshaft out. Let's pop the caps off. So 1, 2, just make sure all those cap things, the little, what do you call it, space about things are right. Okay, and these things that keep that you fall, that you lose basically. So easy peasy. So let's have a look at this camshaft. Bear in mind this engine's only got 24,000 miles on it. I would expect this to be in remarkably good condition, and to my untrained eye that's exactly what it is. It's in good condition. So is this marked, are they the same basically as this? Yes, they are marked EX1, so presumably that one will say INT somewhere on it. Okay, camshaft. Right. Let's crack the other one open. And then we've got to put something in there to stop us losing that cam chain as well, because I don't know if it'll be retrievable, but the last thing I want to do is be splitting the fucking cases to retrieve a cam chain. Okay, off. Okay. Now what I need to do, right, what I'm going, oh shit, I've lost a fucking little insert there, so I need to find that now. It's going to be in one of these, because I need, there we go, get back in, get back to where you both belong. Right, that's done. Right, I'm going to switch the camera off because I'm going to get myself a cam. I'm going to pull this camshaft out. You've just seen me do that with one. So I'm also going to grab a cable tie, tie up that chain so I don't lose it, and I'm going to bag up some of these parts here so that I can keep track of what's what. So back soon. Right, we are going to attempt to try and crack off these cylinder head bolts. I can't find a 1/2" drive 14mm socket, which I really need for this. I can only find a 3/8 drive, so I've got an adapter on it. I really don't know if this is going to be man enough, but basically we've got to remove them in the reversal order of what you would tighten them. So that is, let's have a look, yeah, 8, 7. Have I got that right? Yeah, I have. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, so all I'm going to do is loosen every one of them a 1/2 turn. If it will. Oh, you bastard! That is tight, mind you. I really need, you would expect them to be tight, but I really need this engine to hold it somehow, so right, that's that. Right, so 8, 7. Strange that it's the same side. You think you'd go to the opposite side, but not according to that. Oh, you fuck's... Oh, you bastard, that is tight. I've got a torque wrench, but I suspect it's probably not going to go up high enough to retension these. So that's 8, 7, so that one next. Right, you get the point. I'm going to crack all these off and I'll put you back on. Right, I've got a problem here, which could turn into a big problem. But basically, they're all backed off now, and they're all pretty much hand tight. I've backed number 7 off, which is the one the ratchet's on now. And even though I've turned it 2 or 3 times, it still feels tight. Now I've got a horrible feeling that it's going to either shear or it's going to tear the threads up inside the head bolt. And if that happens, I'm in a world of shit. So I have rotate and back, rotate and back. But that is still tight even now, and that's come out several turns. There's always one in there, always one bastard. Oh, that's gone really tight now. That's gone really tight both ways. What a cunt. What an absolute cunt. Okay, right, I'm going to work that backwards and forwards and take my time over it and just see what I can do. Back soon, either good or bad news. Right, it's come out. Good old Ryobi impact. I went forward a bit, back a bit, forward a bit, back a bit, and eventually it come out. At what cost, I don't know. The bolt's still in there. Do you reckon I got away with it? I reckon I might be lucky. I think I may well have got away with that. Right, let's pull the rest out. Let's see what we got under here. Okay, right, I'm going to relift all them head bolts out, and then before I actually pull the head off, I'll switch camera back on. See you soon. Right then, all the head studs are out. They're all here. 1 or 2 of them look a bit funky. Don't know why, but yeah, that one's got some sort of like mottled effect on it. And that one looks a little bit weird. But we have spares. We have lots of spares. Let's pop them in the box. Now this head, in theory, is ready to part company. So I am going to get a new head gasket for this, but the chap I referred to earlier, Troll Patrol, he did say something about spraying the old one with aluminium paint and reusing it, but I don't really want to do that. See what else I've got to do though, and I fell foul of this before, didn't I? There's an oil well, yeah, there's an oil pipe on the back that I forgot about, and as I remember rightly, there was a bolt hidden right down behind that cam chain follower. I need to get that out as well, so let me do that and we'll come back. We're not quite ready for lift off yet. Right, we are now ready to lift off the head. Let me just show you what it was that I forgot. So, I don't know how well this will come out, but there's the 2 banjo bolts there. there's a bolt tucked right under there, a little M8, no not M8, M5 I think it is, tiny little thing. And then also on top of the head, right down inside there, you can barely see it, but there is another bolt, and the Haynes manual makes no mention of that one whatever. Not one known whatsoever. The only reason I knew it was there is because I couldn't get the head off on the other bike, and eventually I located it somewhere. But anyway, we are now ready, I believe, for lift off. So I don't want to lose that cam chain, so let's pop something in there just to stop losing it. We'll tie that off properly when we've got the head off. So okay, and I think I heard that give. There we go, she's away. Right, okay, well, you need a friend to hold the camshaft while you lift the head off, but away she goes, and she's off. Okay, how am I going to do this? There's a good chance I'll be able to fish it out if I do lose it anyway, but I'd rather not put that theory to the test. Okay, there's a lot of oil in that, so before we flip it over, let's just have a look. There is a mark at the back of the head there which worries me a little bit. I don't know whether that's something that will polish out, but I wonder if that was, if it won't polish out, I wonder if that was our loss of, no it can't be, because it was leaking out of the, exhaust. I think we proved that, we proved it to my satisfaction anyway. Right, I probably don't want to remove the cylinder head unless I'm forced. I've got something very, very light just to sand that. That'll do. What else we got here? I don't say what it is, but it's very fine. So I'm just going to see if that's just a mark that will come off, or whether we've got an issue. I can show you. You guys can comment as to whether you think it's an issue. Personally, I don't think it is. There's a little scuff just running down there. Part of me's thinking, you're this far in, pull the head off, and I bet you lot are all going to say that, ain't you? You're all going to say, yeah, pull the head off. I don't have a honing stone. That's not to say I couldn't get one, because I don't think they're that expensive, but I'm thinking along the lines now of pulling the head off, maybe put a new set of rings on it as well, and run those bores out with a honing stone, just see how bad they are. I don't think they're bad. I think a honing stone will take that out. But anyway, let's have a look at the underside of the head, which is going to piss oil everywhere. It's already pissing oil out everywhere, who cares? It's only mine. So yeah, nothing there that really concerns me, to be honest with you. That all looks good. I'll just pull them valves out and reseat all of them, but yeah, there's nothing there that stresses me out too much. Let's save those. Just pop that back in there for now. So, right, I suppose really I ought to rotate the crank and have another quick look see at the what do you call it, the other cylinder. Where's that fucking 14mm go? Oh, it's here. Right. Just hold this up so it don't bind. It's a long way. Yeah, that cylinder looks, that one looks fine. Absolutely fine. It's strange and suspicious that that mark. I'll tell you what we could do. Yeah, this is actually a good idea. I've come up with a good idea. I'm going to, this is the plan, comment away by all means, but my plan is to relap all of those valves. Hang on though. Well, what I was going to say is relap all the valves and put it back together with the old head gasket and just see what sort of compression I've got. It's a way of spending zero money. I don't know. I'm going to give it some thought. But yeah, that's where we are, guys. Let me know what you'll think. Where should I go from here? I suspect the majority of you are going to say pull the barrels out, pull the pistons out. That's what I suspect. But yeah, let me know what you think. That's all I'm going to do for now. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. There we go, all packed away. But I've had a last minute thought. Now, according to the manual, as far as I can tell, these have got removable liners. And also, as far as I can tell, the number 2 cylinder on this wrecked bike is okay. Now, I think the cylinder liner and the piston are the same. So I wonder if I could take the piston and liner out of the number 2 cylinder of this bike and put it in the number 1 side of the engine in the shed. There's a thought. And with that in mind, I think what I might do next is pull the cylinder end back off that and pull the head off. Pull the head and the barrels off. A, to have a look if that's a possibility. B, to inspect the condition of the number 2 cylinder and piston. And number 3, so it's not a total waste of time, it'll be practice for how it all comes apart. Yeah. Right, give me your thoughts on that. Right, that's it now, I'm going. Cheers.